The Late Night Driver, a Mind-Bending Experience. Part 1, The Late Night Driver. Holy shit, I can't believe I'm finally telling this story. You know how they say some experiences just fuck with your head forever? Well, this is mine. I've been driving for Lyft for what feels like forever. 3 years of late-night shifts because, let's be honest, that's where the real money is. Plus, the roads are quieter and you don't have to deal with all the bullshit traffic. But damn, sometimes the universe throws you a curveball that makes you question every life choice you've ever made. Let me paint you a picture. I'm in my beat-up 2005 Volvo. Yeah, laugh it up, but this piece of shit has been more reliable than most people I know. The heater makes this weird-ass rattling sound that would drive most people insane, but it's become like a weird companion on these lonely nights. The seats are worn in just the right places, and the steering wheel has this smooth spot where my hands always rest. It's not much, but it's my office, my sanctuary, and on that night, it almost became my worst nightmare. It was around 2 a.m. and I was cruising through downtown, the streetlights casting these weird shadows that made everything look like some low-budget horror movie. My phone lit up with a request from a convenience store nearby. Simple enough, right? Wrong. The moment I saw that ping, my gut started doing backflips. You know that feeling when your body's trying to tell you something's fucked up, but your brain's like, nah, we need that money? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. As I pulled up to the store, everything screamed, turn the fuck around. The convenience store was dark as hell, not a single light on inside. The parking lot was emptier than my bank account after rent day, and there wasn't another soul in sight. Well, except for this one guy. And holy shit, what a sight he was. This dude was pacing outside like he was auditioning for World's Most Suspicious Person. He had on this nasty-ass hoodie that looked like it had been through a war zone, literally had holes everywhere. The way he was moving, pure tweaker energy. He couldn't stay still for more than 2 seconds, kept looking over his shoulder like the ghost of Christmas past was about to jump him. Any sane person would have noped the fuck out of there. I even had my finger hovering over the cancel button, ready to ghost this whole situation. But did I listen to my instincts? Of course not, because apparently I'm the kind of idiot who sees red flags and thinks they're just festive decorations. Part 2, The Passenger. When this guy got into my car, the temperature seemed to drop 10 fucking degrees. I'm not being dramatic. Something about his presence just sucked all the warmth out of the air. He slid into the back seat like some kind of shadow, didn't say a goddamn word. Just sat there, staring at me through the rearview mirror with these dead-ass eyes that never seemed to blink. You know what's worse than a chatty passenger? A silent one who won't stop staring at you like you're their next meal. Every time I caught his reflection in the mirror, my stomach did this weird flip. His eyes were bloodshot as hell, and there was this intensity behind them that made me want to jump out of my own damn car. I tried to lighten the mood by turning on the radio. Some generic pop shit was playing. Big mistake. The second the music started, this guy snapped at me like I just insulted his mother. "Turn that fucking thing off," he growled, his voice sounding like he'd been gargling gravel. I nearly shit myself, not gonna lie. My hands jerked on the wheel so hard, I almost sideswiped a parked car. The silence that followed was thick enough to choke on. I gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white, trying to focus on the road and not the fact that this sketchy motherfucker was sitting right behind me. The GPS said we had 15 minutes left, but it felt like 15 hours. Then he started talking, and holy shit, I wish he'd stayed quiet. "Ever pick up someone you shouldn't have?" he asked, his voice dripping with this weird-ass amusement. "What the fuck do you say to that?" I forced out this awkward laugh, like, ha, hope not, but inside I'm thinking, yeah, probably right fucking now. He started rambling about his time as an Uber driver, how some punks, his word, not mine, stole his shit. But the way he told it, man, something was off. He kept smiling this twisted smile while telling this messed up story like he was enjoying reliving it. His words were slurring together, but I caught enough to know this wasn't just about some petty theft. Then this creepy bastard drops the line that made my blood freeze. It's funny how much trust you put in someone sitting right behind you. Who the fuck says that to their driver? I swear to God, my heart was beating so fast I thought it might explode. The breakdown. This psycho wasn't done with his little performance. He started going off on these weird tangents, jumping between topics like his brain was playing fucking pinball. One minute he's talking about his glory days driving, the next he's muttering about some shit that made absolutely no sense. And through it all, that creepy-ass smile never left his face. Then things got really fucked up. He started apologizing, not to me, mind you, but to someone who wasn't even there. I didn't mean it. I swear to God I didn't mean it, he kept saying, over and over like a broken record. His voice got all shaky, and I could hear him shifting around in the back seat. Every movement made me flinch, thinking this was it. This was how I'd end up as another true crime podcast episode. The GPS showed we were getting close to his destination, and I was counting down the seconds like a bomb timer. That's when this asshole completely lost his shit. You missed the fucking turn, he screamed, making me jump so hard I nearly pissed myself. I hadn't missed shit. The GPS was clear as day, but try explaining that to a tweaking psychopath. Pull over! Pull the fuck over! He was practically foaming at the mouth at this point. So what did I do? I pulled over like the scared little bitch I was, my hand shaking so bad I could barely shift into park. And then, like some divine intervention, headlights appeared in my rearview mirror. A cop car crawling down the street like a guardian angel in blue. I've never been so happy to see the police in my entire life. The spotlight swept over my car, and this motherfucker in my backseat, he went full ninja, dropping down so fast you'd think the seat was made of lava. I watched him in my mirror, lying there flat as a board, eyes squeezed shut like a kid playing hide and seek. The cop car passed by slowly, so fucking slowly, and I sat there trying to breathe normally, praying to whatever God might be listening that the cop would notice something was wrong. But of course they didn't. They just kept cruising by, completely oblivious to the fact that I was sitting there with what I was pretty sure was a dangerous criminal in my back seat. The guy stayed down for what felt like forever, and I didn't dare move a muscle. Part 4, the revelation. Finally, this psycho lifts his head up, and what he says next makes my skin crawl. You got real fucking lucky tonight. Then, before I could process what the hell that meant, he was gone. Just opened the door and disappeared into the darkness like some goddamn horror movie villain. I sat there for a minute trying to get my shit together, my heart still doing the cha-cha in my chest. The silence after he left was deafening. I could hear my own breathing, ragged and shallow, like I'd just run a marathon. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't even grip the steering wheel properly. I ended my shift right then and there. Fuck the money, fuck the quotas, fuck all of it. I drove home doing about 20 over the speed limit, checking my rearview mirror every 5 seconds like a paranoid tweaker. Every shadow looked like him. Every sound made me jump. But here's where this shit gets really fucked up. A few weeks later, I'm scrolling through my phone trying to convince myself that night was just some bad dream, when I see this news article that makes my blood run cold. A convenience store had been robbed that night, 2 blocks from where I picked up that creepy bastard. The article mentioned the suspect was armed and dangerous, had roughed up the clerk pretty bad. The description? A man in a ratty hoodie, fuck me running. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I hadn't just given a ride to some random tweaker. I'd been alone in my car with an armed robber who'd just committed a violent crime. This piece of shit had been sitting right behind me, probably still high on adrenaline from beating the shit out of some poor clerk working the night shift. You want to know the really messed up part? I can't even go to the cops about it. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why the fuck not? Well, let's just say I've got my reasons. Some personal shit I'd rather not get into. Besides, what am I going to tell them? Hey, I might have given a ride to a violent criminal, but I didn't get his name or anything useful, and oh yeah, this was weeks ago. Real helpful, right? Part 5, the cabin story. Now, let me tell you about something even more fucked up that happened a few years back. This shit still keeps me up at night, and after hearing what happened with my Lyft passenger, you'll understand why these stories are connected in the most twisted way. I used to live in the city, loving that urban life until everything went to absolute shit. Had this traumatic experience, we're talking next level fucked up, that left me with this weird-ass condition called phonophobia. Basically, every little noise felt like someone was jabbing needles into my chest. Car horns? Pure torture. Slamming doors? Might as well be fucking gunshots. So there I was, desperate as hell, scrolling through real estate listings like a crack addict looking for their next fix when I found this cabin in the ass end of Oregon. Middle of fucking nowhere, which was exactly what I needed. No traffic, no people, just trees and silence. Perfect, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Stupid me. The cabin itself was decent enough, all wooden beams and that rustic bullshit that city folks cream their pants over. Smelled like pine and old books, that whole Instagram-worthy aesthetic. The realtor failed to mention one tiny detail, though. My only neighbor was going to turn out to be batshit crazy. First week was fucking bliss. Just me, my laptop, and sweet, sweet silence. Then came the knock. Not just any knock, the kind that makes you question every life choice that led you to living alone in the woods. Enter Michelle, my 60-something neighbor with this gray hair down to her ass and these eyes that could pierce your soul. She's standing there with this basket of preserves like we're in some twisted version of Little Red Riding Hood. But here's where shit gets weird. She starts spouting this cryptic bullshit. Keep your lanterns full, your windows shut tight, and your wits sharper than your axe. Who the fuck talks like that? It's not exactly, welcome to the neighborhood, here's a fruitcake.